ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वशास्त्राब्धिपूर्तियोष सर्ववेदैक सत्फला सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्प्रद सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिद्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तितः परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवर्ष्यक्षरायते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तुते। मदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मन्महादन मन्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानन्द नमोस्तुते। असाधु साधुता दायिन् अतिनीचोच्चताकर आनमुञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णा हृत्कण्ठयोस्फुर। So, welcome all the devotees for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll continue Dhruva Maharaj section. Dhruva Maharaj, in order to take Dhruva Maharaj back to Vaikuntha, the two associates of Lord Vishnu, Sunanda and Nanda, they have arrived in a Vaikuntha airplane. So, Dhruva Maharaj, when he saw those two associates, he became overwhelmed with the feelings of affection and respect and ecstasy that he forgot all the normal procedures of receiving a guest. He simply offered obeisances to them and he just chanted the holy names of the Lord. So at that time, further we'll see. Can repeat after me. तं कृष्णपादाभिनिविष्टचेतसम्
तं कृष्णपादाभिनिविष्टचेतसं
बद्धाञ्जलिं प्रश्रयनम्रकन्दरम्
बद्धाञ्जलिं प्रश्रयनम्रकन्दरम्
सुनन्दनन्दावुपसृत्य सस्मितम्
सुनन्दनन्दावृपसृत्य सस्मितम्
प्रत्यूचतु पुष्करनाभसम्मतौ
pratyuchat pushkaranabha sammatam. Translation. Dhruva Maharaj was always absorbed in thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. His heart was full with Krishna. When the two confidential servants of the Supreme Lord, who were named Nanda and Sunanda, approached him, smiling happily, Dhruva stood with folded hands, bowing humbly. They then addressed him as follows.
Very beautiful shloka. Sunanda and Nanda, they addressed to Dhruva. Sunanda Nandau. In Dvivachana it is there. Sunanda Nandau Pratyuchatuhu. They spoke to Dhruva. What kind of Sunanda Nandau? Pushkara Naba Sammatau Sunanda Nandau. Pushkara Naba Sammatau. It's an adjective for Sunanda Nandau. Pushkara Naba. Pushkara means lotus. Pushkara Naba means lotus navel. So Pushkara Naba is the name of Vishnu. One who has the lotus navel. Just like Pitambara, one who wears Pitam Ambaram Yasya Saha. One who wears yellow cloth, he is the Pitambara. Pushkaram Nabam Yasya Saha. One who has a lotus navel, that Lord Vishnu is referred by the word Pushkara Naba. Pushkara Naba Sammatau. Sammatau, Prabhupada translates in a very beautiful way. Agreeable. Pushkara Naba Sammatau. Sammatau literally means confidential servants. So the two confidential servants of Pushkara Naba, Sunanda Nandau, they addressed Dhruva. And Dhruva Maharaj is described by 4 adjectives. Krishna Pada Abhinivishta Chetasam Baddhanjalim Prashraya Namra Kandaram Sasmitam. So, Dhruva Maharaj, what kind of Dhruva Maharaj? Krishna Pada Abhinivishta Chetasam. That Dhruva Maharaj, whose mind was absorbed in the lotus feet of Krishna. Baddhanjalim, that Dhruva Maharaj who was standing there with the folded hands. Prashraya Namra Kandaram, that Dhruva Maharaj whose shoulder was lowered out of humility. Prashraya, out of humility and respect. Sasmitam, who was smiling. Or Sunanda Nandav, Upaspritya, they approached the Dhruva Maharaj and they spoke to Dhruva Maharaj. So if you see the, you just go through Vishnu Chakoti has purport. The esteemed servants of the Lord, Sunanda and Nanda, smiling, Sasmitam, smiling, approached and spoke to Dhruva, who stood with folded hands and with a bowed head, absorbed in the feet of Krishna. So, Sammata, Pushkara Naba Sammato means to confidential or very obedient servants. So Prabhupada writes a very brilliant purport on this word Pushkara Nabha Sammatav. So the difference between a material life and the spiritual life is that in the material life, a person is disobedient to the will of Krishna. In the spiritual life, a person is obedient to the will of Krishna. So all the living entities are expected to be agreeable to the will of Krishna, agreeable to the order of Krishna. That is the perfect oneness. So the oneness which is spoken in the Advaita school of thought is that they are thinking about the Jivatma becoming one with the Nirvishesha Brahman. But the oneness which is spoken in the Vaishnava school of thought is that when the living entity becomes agreeable to the will of Krishna, the living entity becomes obedient to the will of Krishna. That is the oneness which is spoken in the Vaishnava school of thought. This is the perfect oneness. So in the Vaikuntha, all the living entities, they have the same interest as the Supreme Lord. And they never disobey the Lord's orders. But the material world, everyone is asammata. The living entities are disagreeable to the will of Krishna. So therefore, the purpose of human life is to get training to come to the platform of being agreeable to the order of the Lord. And that is the purpose of that is the mission of the Krishna consciousness movement, to train a person to be agreeable to the will of Krishna. So Dhruva Maharaj, simply by becoming agreeable to the orders of the Supreme Lord and by developing love of Godhead, Dhruva Maharaj got a chance to personally meet the associates of the Lord, confidential servants of the Lord. And what was possible for Dhruva Maharaj is possible for everyone. Anybody who seriously engages in devotional service can attain the same perfection. It's a very beautiful shloka. Pushkara Nabha Sammatau. Tam Krishna Pada Vinivishta Chetasam Baddhanjalim Prashraya Namra Kandaram Sunanda Nanda Upasritya Sasmitam Pratyujatu Pushkara Nabha Sammatau. Next shloka. Sunanda Nanda Vuchatuhu.
Sunandana Vachuchatuhu.
Bhobo Rajan Subhadram Te
Bhobo Rajan Subhadram Te
Vacham no Vahita Shrunu
Vacham no Vahita Shunu
Yap Panchavarshas Tapasa
Ya Panchavarshastapasatsa
Bhavan Devamati Tripat.
Bhavan Devamati Tripat. Nanda and Sunanda, the two confidential associates of Lord Vishnu, said, Dear King, let there be all good fortune unto you. Please attentively hear what we shall say. When you were only 5 years old, you underwent severe austerities, and you thereby greatly satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Sunanda Nandau Uchatuhu. By Sandhi, it has become Sunanda and Nanda Uchatuhu. Bhobo Rajan. Bobo is like a way of addressing. Hey Rajan. They are addressing Dhruva. Subhadram Te. Let there be auspiciousness unto you. And then they say that Yap Panchavarsha Tapasa. At the age of 5-year-old, by performing tapasya, Bhavan Devam Ati Tripat. Devam here refers to Vishnu. You had pleased the Supreme Lord. Vacham Naha Avahita Shunu. Please hear our words attentively. Attentively hear our words. So Prabhupada says, what was possible for Dhruva Maharaj is possible for anyone. Any 5-year-old child can be trained, and within a short time his life will become successful. You see, the Acharya is giving an assurance. Sometimes we may think these examples are only there in the scriptures. So devotional service or spirituality is not practical. The Acharyas are giving an assurance that it is possible for anyone. But what is lacking is that the training is lacking all over the world. It is necessary for the leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement to start educational institutions in different parts of the world to train children, starting at the age of 5 years. Thus, such children will not become hippies or spoiled children of society. Rather, they can all become devotees of the Lord. The face of the world will then change automatically. The Prabhupada is emphasizing to the leaders to train the children at the age of 5 years. Essentially, he's talking about Gurukul education. Just like, for example, government has to make a metro rail line. Suppose if they are like in Bombay, they are recently, I think, opened some metro rail lines. Suppose if a city is there for the past, say, 200 years, 100 years. In such a city, if you have to make a metro rail line, which has already been operating since 100 years. Say in Bombay, suppose you have to make a metro station in Cow Gully or in Kalba Devi, Muhammad Ali Road. These are very highly crowded areas. You have to make a metro station, how difficult it would be. Still, the government makes metro rail station. They make some underground metro rail station. Recently, I came from Grand Road to airport, underground railway station. So, to make a metro railway station in a city which has been operating since 100 years, it is very difficult. On the other hand, suppose government is planning a new city from the scratch. In that new city, to make a metro rail station is comparatively much easier. New Bombay was planned from the scratch. When you visit the New Bombay local train station, the local train station itself looks like a metro station. Very spacious. Because they were all planned from the scratch. Similarly, when we talk about giving Krishna conscious training, giving training to a person who is grown up 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and then giving training to a person at the age of 5, which is easier now. A child which is at the age of 5, the child has a clean slate. You can easily train the person. You can mold the person the way you want. Whatever you whatever you tell the child at that age, that will get the form impression to the child. Whatever habits you inculcate in the child, that becomes a part of his personality. But we find that the age of after 30, 40 years, how difficult it becomes for a person to leave one's previous habits, take up some new practices, change one's ideas and conceptions, which are different from the Shastra. It is like making a metro rail station in Muhammad Ali Road. So it requires a huge endeavor. So therefore, of course, both these endeavors will go on. Government will be making metro railway station in established cities. At the same time, they will also be coming up with new cities. Both will go on. Only preaching, preaching to the adults, elderly people, that will go on. Simultaneously, training children from the young age of 5, that should also go on. That becomes more important actually. Training the future generation, especially in the current age where the generation is changing rapidly. There is so many facilities to get distracted and contaminated easily. It becomes all the more important to train children from the age of 5. Then Prabhupada says that then the face of the world will then change automatically. Very important shloka. Therefore, next shloka. तस्या किल जगद्धातुर्
तस्या किल जगद्धातु
आवां देवस्य शार्ङ्गिणः
आवां देवस्य शाङ्गिनः
पार्षदाभिः सम्प्राप्तौ
पार्षदाव्य सम्प्राप्तौ
नेतुं त्वां भगवत्पदम्
नेतुं त्वां भगवत्पदम्. Translation: We are representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the creator of the whole universe, who carries in his hand the bow named Saranga. We have been specifically deputed to take you to the spiritual world.
So they are introducing themselves. Avam means we too. Aham, avam, vayam. We too. We too are Akhila Jagat Dhatuhu, the maintainer of the entire world. Who is that? Sharnginaha, the holder of the Sharanga bow. Devasya, Sharnginaha, Akhila Jagat Dhatuhu, Parshadau. We are the associates of Lord Vishnu, who holds the Sharanga bow and who is the maintainer of the entire universe. And iha sampraptav. We have come here. For what purpose? Tvam Bhagavat Padam Netum Iha Sampraptav. We have come here to take you to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, to the abode of Lord Vishnu. Bhagavat Padam. Bhagavat Padam refers to Vaikuntha. So Krishna says in the Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yovetti tatvatah. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjani. Simply by knowing his transcendental pastimes, anyone who understands his Krishna's birth and activities in Tattva, he becomes immediately fit for getting transferred to Vaikuntha. This principle stated in the Bhagavad Gita operated in the case of Dhruva. Throughout his life, he tried to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by austerity and penances. Now, the mature result was that Dhruva Maharaj became fit to be carried to the spiritual world, accompanied by Nanda and Sunanda. So Dhruva's bhakti has come to the mature platform and is fit to be transferred. There is a just 1 minute. There is one shloka, one purport. The 10th canto, 1st chapter. Tenth canto, 1st chapter, 65th and 66th shloka purport. So Prabhupada says, the word Ajana Shankaya. Ajana means unborn. Indicates that Lord Vishnu never takes birth. And that he therefore appeared as Krishna, taking birth just like a human being. And Kamsa attempted to kill all the babies born of Vasudeva and Devaki. But although he knew that if Vishnu were born, he would not be killed. Actually, so Kamsa knew within his heart that Vishnu cannot be killed. He wanted to kill all the children of Vasudeva and Devaki, but in the deep, within his heart, he knew that Vishnu could not be killed. Actually, it came to pass that when Vishnu appeared as Krishna, Kamsa could not kill him. Rather, as foretold, it was Krishna who killed Kamsa. So one should know in truth how Krishna, who takes his birth transcendentally, acts to kill the demons but is never killed. So when one perfectly understands Krishna in this way, through the medium of Shastra, one becomes immortal. So, this is the verse I wanted to quote. Yeah. Yeah, Prabhupada says that Kamsa knew a little about Krishna. that he could not be killed. Vishnu cannot be killed. He knew that. And therefore, Kamsa attained salvation, although he thought Krishna as an enemy. So, although Kamsa thought Krishna as an enemy, because he knew that Krishna cannot be killed, because of that he attained salvation. Then what then is to be said of one who knows Krishna perfectly from the descriptions of Shastras, like Bhagavad Gita? If Kamsa, who considered Krishna as an enemy, but who knew that Krishna could not be killed, because of that he attained salvation. That means even partial understanding of the activities of Lord Vishnu makes one eligible for salvation. Then what to speak of somebody who knows Krishna perfectly from the Shastras, from the bona fide Guru? Therefore, it is the duty of everyone to read Bhagavad Gita and understand Krishna perfectly. Next shloka. Sudurjayam Vishnupadam jitam tvaya
Sudurjayam Vishnupadam jitam tvaya
yat surayo prapya vichakshate param
Yatsuryo prapya vichaksate param
atishtatachandra divakaradyo
Atistachat Atistachandra Divakaradayo
graharshatara pariyanti dakshinam.
Graharshatara Pariyanti Dakshinam. Translation. To achieve Vishnu Loka is very difficult, but by your austerity you have conquered. Even the great rishis and demigods cannot achieve this position. Simply to see the Supreme Abode, the Vishnu planet, the sun and moon, and all other planets, stars, lunar mansions, and solar systems are circumambulating it. Now please come, you are welcome to go there.
So very beautiful, they explain how it is very difficult to achieve Vishnu Loka. So they are saying that Tvaya jitam, Tvaya Vishnupadam jitam. The Vishnupada, the planet of Vishnu, has been attained by you. And that Vishnupadam is Sudurjayam. It is very difficult to achieve. And yet Surayaha aprapya vichakshate param. Surayaha, the Devatas, they are unable to achieve that Vishnupada and they simply see the Vishnupada. They simply see the abode of Vishnu, but they are unable to achieve that. Aprapya. Chandra Divakara Adayaha Graharsha Taraha Dakshinam Pariyanti. The sun, moon, and other planets and other nakshatras, they circumambulate that Vishnu Pada, Dakshinam. It means in the clockwise direction. Atishta. Now you come and stay in that Vishnu Pada. You come and stay in that abode. So all the planets are circumambulating the Dhruva Loka, the abode of Vishnu. The abode of Vishnu within the material world. The Lord Vishnu had told that after ruling the earth for 36,000 years, you will attain Dhruva Loka and you will rule there. And then you will come to Vaikuntha. So Dhruva Loka is the embassy of Vaikuntha within the material world. All the planets are circumambulating the Dhruva Loka. So even in the material world, so scientists, philosophers, and mental speculators, they strive to go to other planets, but they are unable to go there. But a devotee, by performing bhakti, not only realizes Vaikuntha, but he actually goes to Vaikuntha to live in Vaikuntha. So therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is so potent that by adopting these principles of life and developing love of God, one can very easily go back home, back to God. Here the practical example is the case of Dhruva Maharaj. While the scientist and philosopher go to the moon, but are disappointed in their attempts to stay there, the devotee makes an easy journey to other planets and ultimately goes back to God. So sometimes one may have a curiosity to see other planets. But a pure devotee has no interest in seeing other planets. And while going to the spiritual world, all the other planets are like a passing phases. Just like when a person goes to a city, the long distance city, the many intermediate stations are like the small station one passes by. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, so the Krishna describes the Archiradi Marga. Before attaining Vaikuntha, how a devotee goes through 12 stations. Some 12 intermediate stations are mentioned. There will be many more, but 12 are mentioned. First is the starting with Archi, that means the planet of fire god. And then next is where the presiding deity of daytime lives, Aha. And then Shukla Paksha, the presiding deity of Shukla Paksha. And fourth is presiding deity of Uttarayana. And then the presiding deity of Samvatsara, that is year. And then the planet of Vayu Deva. And then the planet of Surya Deva. And the planet of Chandra. So you can see that planet of Chandra comes after the planet of Surya. That means sun is after going through sun, a person goes to Chandra. And then the planet of the presiding deity of Vidyut. Vidyut Purusha. And then the planet of Varuna. And then the planet of Indra. And then the Prajapati, that is the Brahma. After that, a person attains Vaikuntha. So,
What is Samvatsara? What was that?
Samvatsara means year.
Earth.
Only.
What?
Year.
Year. Oh.
The presiding deity of the year, that is the planet of Samvatsara. Further, Sunanda and Nanda are there saying, Anastitam te pitrubiranyai Anastitam te pitrubir anyairapyanga karhichit.
अनास्तितं ते पितृभिः अन्ये अपि अंग कहिचित्
Atishta jagatam vandyam Tadvishno paramam padam.
आतिष्ठ जगतां वन्द्यं तद्विष्णो परमं पदम्. Dear King Dhruva, neither your forefathers nor anyone else before you ever achieved such a transcendental planet, the planet known as Vishnu Loka, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all. It is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. Please come with us and live there eternally.
Anastitam te pitrubir anyairapyanga karhichit atishta jagatam vandyam tadvishno paramam padam. They are addressing Dhruva. Atishta, stay in that planet. Stay in that Vishnu Paramam Padam, the supreme abode of Vishnu. Tava Pitrubhi, Te Pitrubhihi Anastitam. This abode of Vishnu is not achieved by your forefathers or anybody else. Anyairapi. And this abode of Vishnu is Jagatam Vandyam, is worshipped by the whole universe. Jagatam Vandyam. We see generally in this world, suppose in a family, first time somebody becomes a doctor, so they immediately announce to all the family members, first time in our family somebody has become a doctor. Or first time somebody enters into IIT. Or somebody has become a PhD doctorate. So they proudly declare, congratulate, oh, in our family, in our dynasty family, first time somebody has become a PhD. But much superior to all these achievements is that achieving the abode of Vishnu. Sunanda and Nanda are saying that Anastitam te pitrubir anyairapyanga karhichit. This abode of Vishnu is not achieved by your forefathers or anybody others. And this abode of Vishnu is worshipped by the whole universe. Jagatam Vandyam. So, the associates of Lord Vishnu reminded him that not only his forefathers, but everyone else before him was unable to attain Vishnu Loka. Because everyone in this material world is a karmi, jnani, or a yogi. But the pure devotees are very rare. Very, very rare. So the Vishnu Loka planet is especially meant for the devotees, not for the karmis, jnanis, or yogis. So therefore, great rishis or devatas can hardly approach Brahmaloka. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmaloka is not a permanent residence. Even that Brahmaloka, Abrahma Bhavana Loka, Punaravartino Arjuna. Even that Brahmaloka is difficult to attain, but Brahmaloka is not a permanent residence. But Vaikunta is Yadgatva na nivartante taddama paramam mama. Vaikunta, once a person goes to Vaikunta, one does not come back to this world. One never falls down to this world. One may come to the world to engage in the mission of the Lord. But that is not a fall down. There is a difference between somebody climbing down the stairs and somebody falling down in the stairs. There's a difference. Somebody climbing down the stairs from the first floor to the ground floor, that means he's voluntarily coming down from the first floor to second floor, ground floor. The other person is, because of carelessness, he falls down. From Vaikuntha Loka, falling down is impossible. One may come down from Vaikuntha Loka in the mission of the Lord. That is not a fall down. The only episode in the entire Bhagavatam where somebody coming from Vaikuntha to the material world is a Jaya Vijay episode. But Jaya Vijay episode is a arrangement of the Lord. Because Lord wanted to enjoy Virya Rasa, therefore they came down to this world only for 3 lifetimes. It's a special Leela of the Lord. Jaya Vijay, in fact, in the 8th canto, the Bali Maharaj story, Lord Vishnu was fighting on behalf, along with Bali, on behalf of Indra against Bali Maharaj. In the description, Jaya Vijay is also mentioned as fighting along with Lord Vishnu. So that the Vishwanath Chakravartipad writes that Jaya Vijay, they remained in one form in Vaikuntha. In another form, they came down to this world and they took birth in 3 lifetimes as Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Shishupala and Dantavakra. In one form, they remained in Vaikuntha. So from Vaikuntha, fall down is impossible. There are so many verses. So many means literally so many verses in the Bhagavatam. When we read Ajamil section, 6th canto, 1st chapter, 3rd chapter, repeatedly it comes. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agam dunvanti katsyena niharam iva bhaskaraha. How bhakti completely uproots the sinful reaction, sinful desire, and avidya, the root cause of sin. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Moolanam. Tapatraya Unmoolanam. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the Tapatraya is completely uprooted. Unmoolanam means uprooted from the. Unmoolanam means the root cause of Tapatraya. Avidya is also uprooted. In the 6th canto, 3rd chapter, Yamaraj is repeatedly saying, Yamaraj says that, Nanishkritairuditair, now this is spoken by Vishudutas, Nanishkritairuditair Brahmavadibis Tata Vishudyad Agavan Vratadibihi Yata Harer Nama Padairudahritais Taduttama Shloka Gunopalambakam. Vishwadudas are saying that by other paths, practicing Vrata, austerity, Jnana Marga, Ashtanga Yoga Marga, etc., one does not become completely purified of the sins. To the extent one becomes completely purified of the sins by as much as a person becomes completely purified of the sins by practicing, by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Tata Vishudyat Agavan Vratadibihi Yata Harer Nama Padair Udakritai. So this theme comes repeatedly in that 6th canto, Ajamil section. So therefore, those who are in Vaikuntha, they are pure devotees. They are completely purified. Either Nitya Siddha or Sadhana Siddha. If they have to fall down from Vaikuntha to this world, that means all these shlokas which talk about the purificatory potency of bhakti, all these shokas will become null and void. Because bhakti is the one which completely purifies the soul. Completely purifies means purifies to such an extent that there is no more even a propensity to misuse one's free will. That is the purificatory potency of bhakti. Other paths, one may be purified of the sinful reactions, but the propensity, sinful propensity is not destroyed. But bhakti purifies completely to such an extent there is not even the root cause of sin, avidya, is destroyed. So if the devotees were to fall down from Vaikuntha to this world, that means all these statements which talk about the purificatory potency of bhakti, they become invalid actually. So that's the speciality of Vaikuntha. So Dhruva Maharaj was reminded, you are going in our company to that planet from which no one returns to this material world. Material scientists are attempting to go to the moon and other planets, but they cannot imagine going to the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, for it is beyond their imagination. By material calculation, traveling at the speed of light, it would take 40,000 light years to reach the topmost planet. By mechanical processes, we are unable to reach the topmost planet of the universe. But the process called Bhakti Yoga can give one the facility not only to reach other planets within the universe, but also to reach beyond this universe to the Vishnu Loka planets. So Prabhupada says that we have outlined this in our small booklet, Easy Journey to Other Planets. So we can see by mechanical arrangement, people are unable to go to Mars or Moon like that. But by Bhakti Yoga, one is able to go to even the topmost planet, the Vishnu Loka planet, beyond the universe. So, next shloka. Etad vimana pravaram
एतद् विमानप्रवरम्
uttama shloka maulina
उत्तमश्लोकमौलिना
upasthapitam ayushman
उपस्थापितम् आयुष्मन्
adirodhum tvamarhasi.
अधिरोधं त्वम् अर्हसि. Translation. O Immortal One, this unique airplane has been sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worshipped by selected prayers and who is the chief of all living entities. You are quite worthy to board such a plane.
Etad vimana pravaram. Vimana pravaram means excellent plane, best of the planes. Uttama shloka maulina upasthapitam. This plane is sent by the Uttama shloka, the best of the famous persons. Uttama shloka refers to Lord Vishnu, who is glorified in the choicest poetry. Ayushman, they are addressing Dhruva. Ayushman, O immortal Dhruva. Adirodum tvam arhasi. You are qualified to enter this plane. You are qualified to board this plane. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Ayushman, this word indicates that Dhruva would go to Vaikuntha in the self-same body. So, the Prabhupada says that there's the planet of pole star, Dhruva Loka, which is also called as Shishumara planetary system, where the Lord Vishnu, the Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is in charge of the maintenance of this particular universe, resides there. And the Shishumara or Dhruvaloka can never be reached by anyone but a Vaishnava. The associates of Lord Vishnu brought a special airplane for Dhruva Maharaj and then informed him that Lord Vishnu had especially sent this plane. So Prabhupada says that the Vaikuntha airplane does not move by the mechanical arrangement. So generally there are three methods to move in the outer space. One is the method of the modern scientist, that is by the aeroplane. Another is the one can train the pigeons to carry a person into outer space. The second method. And the third process is a subtle process called as Akasha Patana. Just as the mind can fly anywhere one likes without mechanical arrangement, similarly, Akasha Patana airplane can fly at the speed of mind. Yogis can, by their yoga siddhis, they can travel using Akasha Patana. But beyond these three methods is the fourth process, that is the process of Vaikuntha, which is completely spiritual. By pure Bhakti Yoga, when a devotee becomes mature, a Vaikuntha airplane is sent to take the devotee. So that's the transcendental airplane. Material scientists can neither see such vehicles nor imagine how they fly in the air. So the scientists have no information of the spiritual world. Therefore Krishna says that Parastasmat bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yasas sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. The Vaikuntha is beyond this material world. Parastasmat bhavonyo is beyond this manifested world. So in this way, Nanda and Sunanda, they spoke these words to Dhruva Maharaj. You are qualified to board this plane. They introduced themselves and they told that you have attained Vaikuntha, which is very difficult to achieve. And then how Dhruva Maharaj responded to Nanda and Sunanda. Before boarding the Vaikuntha airplane, what he did, we will see in the next class. We are just coming to the another few sessions. How many more shlokas are there? Another some 20 shlokas are there in this chapter. 25 shlokas. So maybe another 3 sessions will complete this Dhruva Maharaj section, which has been going on since many months. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions?
So this word Prabhuji, asamaha in 4:12:22. So it's the same thing what we discussed in Satsang Prabhas, that there are 6 meanings of the prefix, none which remains as before words beginning with a consonant. Is it something like that?
The same prefix is there. Asammatau. Sammatau means agreeable to the will of Krishna. Asammatau means non-agreeable. So here the prefix is used in the sense of negation. Sammatau, asammatau. Agreeable, non-agreeable. The same prefix comes in 6 different meanings. The most prominent meaning is the negation. Here it is used in the sense of negation. Asammatau. Dharma, adharma. Adi, anadi. Sammatau, asammatau.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that there are two ways, considering the time of passing away, there are two times. One is the passing in the light and passing in the darkness. So he says that one who passes in the light never comes back. So just wanted to know, so where do such yogis go? So they go to Vaikuntha or they go to some other?
Vaikuntha or
Okay,
they
okay.
attain Sayujya Mukti.
Okay.
Archiradi Marga, another is the Dhumadi Marga. Archiradi Marga, those who go by the Archiradi Marga, they go beyond the material world. They go to the spiritual sky. They either attain Kaivalya Mukti, never to return, or they attain Vaikuntha Loka, never to return.
And also, Prabhuji,
Those who go by the Dhumadi Marga, they go to the Swarga Loka or moon planet, and then they enjoy and the pious credits are exhausted, then they return.
and Prabhuji, also in the purport, there is mentioned that sometimes by chance one dies at that time and he also attains the eternal abode. So is it that any person will attain that? Because here it is said that this is very difficult to attain, this Parampadam. So it is not that any person will attain that Vaikuntha, right?
Actually, when you see those shlokas, Prabhupada translates as dying at a particular time, he says. But when you go through Baldev Vidyabhushan, Ramanujacharya's purports, he talks about, it's not mentioned about the time, it's about Dhumadi Marga, Archiradi Marga. They are talking about two paths and what are the intermediate stations while going in that path. That's what is mentioned. Like that. I'll read the same shlokas in another translation. This is 8th chapter. See, 1 minute.
I think from 23rd verse, I think.
23rd. I'll share the screen. So yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginah prayata yanti tam kalam vakshyami bharatarshabha. 23rd. 24th is Archiradi Marga. Agnirjyoti ahashukla shanmasa uttarayanam tatra prayata gachanti brahma vidojana. The jnanis who have practiced devotion to attain Brahman reach the Brahman in this abode, traversing the path called the Archiradi Margam. And in that path, they go through the following worlds. The effulgent Agni, daytime. Daytime means what? The place where the presiding deity of daytime resides. Shukla means the place, the planet where the presiding deity of Shukla Paksha resides. It is not referring to the time. It is referring to the place. So these are the places which are the intermediate stations while going through the Archiradi Marga. Shanmasa Uttarayana means the Uttarayana, it is not about living in the Uttarayana, it is about the presiding deity of the Uttarayana, that deity where he resides, that is one of the intermediate junction which a person encounters while going through the Archiradi Marga. And the 12 stations are mentioned. So when you go to the Baldev Vidyabhushan's purport, Ramanuja's purport, they mention these 12 stations. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna just mentions few of the stations. The 12 stations are mentioned in the Upanishads. Agnir Jyotir Akashukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vido Jana. This is the 24th shloka. And then 25th shloka. So the actual, this is the Upanishad shloka. Archir Dina Sita Pakshair. The liberated soul goes to the Lord through the light, the day, the waxing fortnight. That means the presiding deity of daytime, the presiding deity of Shukla Paksha, the presiding deity of Uttarayana, the presiding deity of Samvatsara, and then Marut, Ravi, Chandra, Vidyut, Varuna, Indra, and Brahma. The next shloka is Dhumo Ratris Tata Krishna Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate. Similarly, the yogic person who performed meritorious deeds as the means for attaining the heavenly locus traverses the path called as Dhumadi Marga. That means beginning with the Dhuma, which consists of the following words. The first is the first station is the Dhuma, the planet of smoke, or the presiding deity of smoke where he resides. Second station is the presiding deity of night time. It is not somebody who leaves his body in the night time. It's talking about the second station, the Dhumadi Marga, is the presiding deity of night time. And then the third station is the presiding deity of Chandra, the moon. The moon comes in the Archiradi Marga and also in the Dhumadi Marga. So when a person comes to Chandraloka, they will ask, okay, do you want to enjoy in Chandraloka or what is your goal? If that person says, no, I'm planning to go to Vaikuntha, then that person will be allowed to go beyond Chandraloka. If a person says, no, I have come to Chandraloka to enjoy, then he will not be allowed to go beyond. Or he'll be given in the different path, in the Dhumadi Marga. And through that he will go to Dakshinayana, and then finally he will attain the moon planet. And then he will return back to, after enjoying in the moon planet, exhausting the pious credits, then Yogi Prapya Nivartate. He will revert, again return to this world. That is the meaning actually. So the Acharyas particularly mentioned that shloka where Uttarayana, Dakshinayana or Shukla, daytime, night which are mentioned, it is referring to the place where the presiding deity of daytime, Dakshinayana, Uttarayana, where they reside. It's not referring to the leaving one's body at that time. But Prabhupada is translated like that, but when we go through Baldev Vidyabhushan, Ramanuja's commentary, or even Vishnu Chakotaku's commentary, they explain in this way. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. First time this understanding from this angle. Thank you. So, Prabhuji, like when the yogis attain the perfection and go to Vaikuntha, it is like Krama Mukti in one sense for them. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, you were talking about like falling down and like coming down from Vaikuntha. So in that case, like all the living entities, so they are like falling down from Vaikuntha. Is that understanding correct?
No. Living entities can never fall from Vaikuntha. Living entities in the material world, since beginningless time, they were in ignorance. Scriptures clearly mention Anadya Vidya Yuktasya Purushasya Atma Vedanam Swatona Sambhavad Anyas Tattvagyo Jnanado Bhavet. So the living entity is in avidya since beginningless time. And he cannot come out of the avidya on his own. He has to receive knowledge from a tattvagya. So we never came from Vaikuntha. So the conditioned life is beginningless, but there is a good news. It is not endless. It has an end. Conditioned life is beginningless, but the good news is that conditioned life comes to an end when a person comes in contact with the devotee of Krishna and receives transcendental knowledge. This is the first good news. Conditioned life has an end. When does it come to an end? When a person begins the path of bhakti. And the second good news is that, and that liberated life is endless. When a person attains Vaikuntha, there is no fall from Vaikuntha. This is the second good news. Conditioned life is beginningless. We never came from Vaikuntha. Shastras don't say that. But the good news is that the conditioned life has an end. And the liberated life is endless. Is it clear?
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji. So, I mean, at some time, like all the souls will be ultimately in the Vaikuntha only, right?
No. Souls are unlimited.
Okay.
Even if infinite souls go back to Vaikuntha, still there are other infinite souls will be staying in the material world.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, infinite is itself infinite. Okay.
Infinity minus infinity is also
Right.
infinity.
Yeah, correct. Okay, got it. But still, like as you said, like we have chance. Have not come from the goddess, but we have chance to go back to goddess.
You have begun the path of bhakti.
Yeah.
Your liberated life has begun.
Okay.
So when it becomes mature, probably one lifetime, few lifetimes, whatever number of lifetimes, there is no more falling from the path.
Okay. Yeah. Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We'll bend here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.